Hello, Mary to everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene, and it's the let's double check the date on this because I have no idea what the date is today. It's
got no choice. I really don't.
It's Monday. I think it's the 30th, but I'm not sure. And let me get some information. Okay. So the date is today, the 30th, and I wanted to just talk to you about a couple of things, including a couple of things that may seem kind of esoteric, but that's okay, because I don't think esoteric thoughts, and some interesting news. First of all, a couple nights ago, I kind of got angry at the people on, they were constantly calling me at really weird hours. I finally picked up the phone, and I gave it to that person with both barrels. I said, listen, I said, unknown caller, I don't know why you call me at 12:46 at night. I said, I don't understand the reason for you calling me so late. I said, I'd be willing to talk to anybody, but it's going to be during several hours. I said, if you give me your phone number, and I will try to get back to you in a simple time. Okay? I said, right now, I'm trying to work on this computer thing that was driving me crazy, and your phone call is, oh, you've been calling me these crazy weird hours every night long. I really wish you would stop. And if you don't, I'm going to have to find a way to report this to the police department. I said, ideally, the best way to reach me is not by calling me, but is to text me. And I said, so please stop blocking your damn phone number and call me back with your phone number, and I will get back to you. And finally they did. They finally they called me back with the phone number. Of course, when I got the phone call, it was like 10:40 something at night, so I was already asleep because I had to get up early this morning. So I left a text message, which I will read to you. It's really not that. It's not confidential or anything. Let me get to this. I said, there we go. I said to that individual, to that phone number, I'm not going to read it here. I said, sorry, I was unable to take your call. I had to go to bed early. Please feel free to text me, and I will respond as soon as possible. It's easier anyway with my hearing loss is to send me a text message, because then I can get back to you when I'm good and ready to, be CCC, calm, cool, collected, and then I can go ahead and get back to you. The one thing about dealing with phone calls when you have a hearing loss is it only adds an additional layer to complications, and I get all frustrated and upset and angry, and I say things I kind of regret, and so I just wanted to make sure you understood that. Alright, now let's start with the weather forecast, because that's another frustration. Okay, now the Weather Channel, we already know, is constantly trying to push the intergovernmental panel climate change issues, and I wanted to just point out to you that even Donald Trump is already been very firmly said is the arguments that the IPCC has been using have been proven to be quite incorrect at large. Okay, because they are full of merity. And if you don't know what merity is, it's excrement, alright? Statistically, science has proven the global warming agenda is a bunch of hooey. It's not based in facts. I said that a couple days ago. Donald Trump has already said to the people over there at the G7 summit that he'll give the response if he's going to support the Paris Treaty in a couple of days. Well, officially, or actually imprecisely, unofficially, he's already told Mr. Pruitt of the EPA that I don't support the Paris Treaty because it's a bunch of hooey. It's a hoax. It's all made up, and it is. And some of you people might go, But isn't it bad to be environmentally conscious? Environmentally conscious is not the same thing as trying to force an agenda saying that we're actually making a huge problem with carbon dioxide from our own cells. This is not the case, okay? The amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, human beings' contribution to carbon dioxide is so negligible, it's laughable. Seriously, our volcanoes pour more into the air than we do, okay? Now, what about the weather for the next few days? It's not that warm right now, and so I'd like to talk about that real quick here. For example, today is expected high 16 degrees, 11 degrees Celsius as a low. It will be cloudy with rain in the evening. Wednesday shows thunderstorms, a high of 21, a low of 11. Thursday shows sunny, a high of 20 degrees, a low of 8. 10% chance of precipitation. On Friday, June 2nd, high of 22, a low of 13. 20% chance of precipitation. It'll be mostly sunny. Well, it's warming up a little bit. Saturday, June 3rd, 2017. High of 21 as a high, 10 as a low, 60% chance of precipitation. And Sunday, why not? July 4th, June 4th, it says, shows rain, high of 18, a low of 10, and 70% chance of precipitation. And of course, it doesn't really, and I think the Weather Channel's got egg on their face because they keep trying to say that things are going to warm up, and then every time Mother Nature seems to give them a slap in the face and say, nope, I don't go by your rules, and it doesn't seem to go by the rules because they already said. So, now, but that's the environmental issue. Do I support sustainable living, such as a reduction of hazardous substances? Absolutely. Do I support the use of keeping clean air and clean water? Absolutely. Do I believe in having fresh fruits and vegetables when available? Yes, I do. Do I support the idea of having to choose and use light sources such as CFLs, which produce a lot of which contain mercury and release a lot of ultraviolet radiation, which damages your eyeballs? Absolutely not. Why would my eyesight's already fucked up. Think about it. Ever since the CFLs became vogue, my eyesight has deteriorated to the point where my right eye especially is deteriorated to the point where I can't barely fucking see out of the thing. I can see to some extent, but it's not at all as good as it used to be. Is it cataract? Yeah. What causes cataract? Ultraviolet rays. I'm mostly indoors every day, so where's the ultraviolet rays keep from? Fluorescent light sources. But you might be saying, but Michelle, the staring glass is not supposed to pass UV rays. Yeah, but you forgot one thing. As labels get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, the glass gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. And so when the glass starts getting thinner and thinner and thinner, the amount of ultraviolet rays escaping after hitting the phosphors of the light, that's how fluorescent lights work, is becoming more and more of a problem. Okay? And we're not just talking about UVA, we're talking about UVB and a very, very tiny trace of UVC, which barely does escape, but it still escapes. Also, blue light. Anybody who likes 6,500 degree Kelvin light bulbs can tell you this. Causes significant problems for the human eye. The human eye is not designed for excessive blue light. It can actually cause you to get macular degeneration. Wow, I didn't know that. I certainly knew it caused cataracts. I certainly know the ultraviolet rays do. So you're talking about light sources causing all these damaging things. And then our modern TVs are all at flat panels, right? The amount of eye damage done by those TVs is getting increasingly statistically notable. I still have a CRT-based TV in my house, but I have an LCD Telcor 2 Dual Mac, which $20 is using a a cold cathode backlit display, as far as I know. And of course, my Power Mac G5 has a CRT-based monitor as well. So comparing TV types, what's better, LCD or CRT? Great question. Depending on who you talk to, they say CRTs are better for your eyes, and some say they're not. Okay? I'll leave that for the future scientists to chew on. But I know that when I'm looking at an LCD monitor, my eyes can't take it too long before they start to before my eyes start to hurt. But when I'm looking at my CRT monitor, it doesn't bother me as much. I can actually work on the computer with a CRT monitor, and it doesn't bother me too much. In fact, sometimes running VNC on the computer with the LCD screen to share the screen onto the one with the CRT, so I can work on it that way as well, so that I still get to use it with the screen I prefer working with, which is the CRT-based Mac versus the LCD Intel Core 2 Duo Mac. I say had because I just gave it away this morning. That little clear LCD monitor. I gave that away to somebody who needed it. I said, I didn't pay nothing for it. There, it's yours. Cute monitor, screen sharp, but I just can't watch it. I just can't. And sorry, my eyeballs can't take it. There's something in the light that's not compatible with my eyesight. Okay? They say, many ophthalmologists are saying this, especially to children, keep the kids away from too much flat panel technology because of the excessive blue they produce, or to use a blue filter over the device to help limit the effects of blue radiation on which is high energy light. Okay, that makes sense to a point. But here's something useful. When it kills cockroach, nice, very brilliantly blue light at 497 nanometers will kill and disrupt the cockroach big time. Actually, the research doesn't specifically mention cockroaches, but at 467 nanometers, I think that's what it was, which is still in the blue range, it's not in the ultraviolet. It has a negative impact on the insect. They tend to disrupts their whole life cycle. It disrupts their mating and feeding cycle and causes neurological trauma to the insects. So in other words, put a whole string of LEDs that are RGB. Why not? Why would I want RGB LEDs in the kitchen? Because I can use it, like when I want to use it in a dark room, I can dial the knob to red. And then I can do paper developing and stuff like that too. Yay! That solves a problem. Now I have a safe light and an unsafe light in the same source. Okay? So if I want safe light for film, I turn the knob to red. I want unsafe, I turn the knob to blue. Okay? The blue would be good for fogging film and paper, and it also would be good for giving the roaches a migraine. Unfortunately, when it comes to brilliant blue light, I don't do well at all. I used to use 6500 degree Kelvin light sources in my studio. I got rid of them really quick when I realized that they were causing my eyes some very significant pain. So yes, very interesting results in that area. Now, I got a trivia pursuit question for you. And this, I really kind of was just curious about. I was watching Sabrina, the original Sabrina, the Teenage Witch last night. Not less than the night before. And I noticed that in the original series, her hair was white. And in Sabrina, the animated series, her hair is yellow. In Sabrina, the live-action Teenage Witch, her hair is blonde. So what color is her hair in real life? Is it platinum like mine? Or is it something else? Because, I don't know. I don't mean to sound stupid, okay? The same thing with Melanie. You ever watch Melanie and the Josie and the Pussycats? Right? Same thing, right? She's really a blonde, but her hair doesn't look blonde on camera. It looks whitish, okay? But I can see that they added just a little bit of yellow tinting to that picture, so you can see her hair is yellow. But whereas Sabrina, in the 1971 edition, her hair was appeared white. Same thing in the comic books as well. Now, it's funny because the new Archie comics, they're focusing on the new Sabrina, not the original. So, the new Sabrina that they have in the comic, which is based on Sabrina the animated series, her hair is yellow. So, as much as I might not believe it, I still kind of support the old Sabrina too. So, my hair kind of looks like hers. I think my hair, if she was a real person, her hair looked like mine. But that's a great question for you. What color is Sabrina's hair in real life? If she was a real person, what color would the Sabrina the Teenage Witch hair be at this point? I still say that her hair would probably be platinum blonde, and of course, Melissa Joan Hart that played Sabrina in the live-action show, her hair was like a golden blonde. And of course, in the cartoon, which is supposed to match the Sabrina, the live-action show, that Sabrina had golden blonde hair too. And of course, in the Sabrina's Secret Life, her hair was golden blonde too. So, yeah, really kind of weird. And by the way, here's another thing. Interesting comparison. In the old series, the head witch's name was Della. She was a redhead. Okay? In this one, the head witch was the mother of Shinji. What was her name? I'll have to look it up again. That's the tip of my tongue. Anyway, here's the deal. Now, she in the original series, that Della was quite, if she was real life, she would be quite a heartthrob, seriously. And even in the Secret Life, she still looks, even though she's supposed to be dark entity, this is so bad. Look, she's still got black hair, she's still cute too. Okay, anyway, the point is we got a whole different situation. Totally different creators came up with some totally different characters. And really, really quite fascinating to think of how these stories kind of came morphed over the years between the original Sabrina and the new Sabrinas that exist today. I mentioned this long ago, and for example, in the original comic book, Sabrina from 1971, Hilda had red hair and Zelda had green hair, and in the live-action series and in the animated series, actually Secret Life, actually, because in the animated series, Hilda and Zelda were younger, but they were, Hilda looked like she was definitely a darker skinned, brown-haired lady, still quite a drop-dead gorgeous person, and then of course Zelda was still cute. And she was a blonde. Her voice was actually played by Melissa Joan Hart, I believe herself, as the younger Sabrina was played by Emily Hart in the animated series. Okay, by the way, the original Sabrina her voice was done by Miss Webb. They're known for the voice of Batgirl, believe it or not. Did you know that? Yeah, there you go. Okay, I'm going to be refreshing myself with all these little facts and figures, because you guys might kind of like those things. So, alright, so now the weather, obviously, is Donald Trump is going to make it official with the G7 about him leaving the Paris Agreement. Yeah, I think he's going to. Now, I just read something on InfoWars. I would like to put out red herring out, actually 2 different pieces from InfoWars. Let's start with the most disturbing. Maxine Waters, again. She keeps saying this, I'm going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing to impeach Donald Trump because I think he's a horrible man. Right? Well, one of her constituents also black, said, I disagree. I think he's a wonderful president. I think he's doing a wonderful job. And don't forget, we can technically impeach you. And Maxine Waters erroneously says, you can't impeach me. Yes, you can. We can impeach you that way, too. We can vote you out of office, punk. Don't forget that. We can throw you out of office by not voting you next time up your election again. And she is up for re-election. Okay. Now, I'm glad that her constituents stood up and told her straight where it was at. Now, my hand's getting tired, so let me just swap hands here. Ooh, shake my fingers. Okay. Now, next piece of news. Donald Trump supposedly wants to backpedal on some of Barack Obama's positive changes with Cuba. I would say that's not necessary to do that. I mean, yes, I can see what you might say is, no, we don't want Cuban refugees coming over here to the United States. No more wet foot, dry foot support. Okay, that's fine. But as far as all the positive changes that we made in Cuba by American companies investing in the island, leave it alone. It's good for the American people. It's good for the Cuban people. It's not going to hurt you. Let that be. Okay? Just you don't want Cuban refugees in here. That's fine. You have the right. It's an immigration policy that should definitely remain. That's why we have immigration naturalization service. Now, what about Venezuela? Mr. Trump is already trying to consider finding ways to help resolve Venezuela's issues some ways, or at least somebody is over there to make it easier for the Venezuelan people who have been facing under Maduro and his regime that has been causing significant damage to the people of Venezuela's lives. Yes, we definitely should be doing something to encourage a regime change. But I think the people of Venezuela are willing to go there. If they think that they have a chance to make a change, they certainly can do so. And they should. They should definitely say, no more of this communism crap, okay? Let's get this straight now. Let's get the society more in line of capitalism. Let's start changing things. Let's lower our 700% inflation. Let's make it so we don't have to eat dogs and cats. And let's get our economy turned around. And we gotta be more flexible than just focusing on our main gross domestic product being oil. Okay? Absolutely. And that's what you got to do. Okay? So we have, between the Maxine Waters attitude and, which is, fake newsers are like absolutely positively finding themselves beside themselves because they can't make anything that they plan to stick to Donald Trump because everything that they're doing is false news, leaking information. In fact, it's been said, one of the people said, the close administration said, what's going on with the leakers is darn close to treason. That's pretty significant when you hear someone say, darn close to treason. It is treason. You're leaking government news out that's not supposed to be released to the public eye, and that is not acceptable. There are things that the government does that are meant to stay behind closed doors. Because the security, they're meant to protect the people. And if your enemy knows what you're going to do to protect your people, they can find a way to screw you over again. So that's something to think about. And of course, we also know that, as I said, all their fake newsers trying to come up with fake news stories, trying to discredit Donald Trump, and it's finding that their stories don't stick because he's not one doing all the so-called BS in the first place. It's all made up. It's not real. However, I gotta admit, I don't know about Jared Kushner. I kind of wonder with him. I don't know. I just don't think he's quite on the same camp as Donald Trump. Just somehow I don't think that. Because you see, he seems to have a different answer and different attitude than his father-in-law. But I don't really know if that's true or not. So I'm not going to say it is, because I can't prove it or not prove it until I get some information from reputable sources that says it is true. I'm not going to say it's true. Alright, that's just it. Oh, here's some Jew news. How's the cat doing? How's Rusty doing? Well, Rusty's still got a scab, but it's healing very slowly. He's doing good. He's eating good. Unfortunately, he's getting a little fat for his own good. That's just not good for me, because it means I have to worry about his weight. But at least today he was in a good mood. And he's doing better. Now, coming up in the next few days, of course, we get paid our checks this month. And, oh yes, one more thing, real quick. Donald Trump, in his latest address to the nation, said, I am not going to affect your Social Security benefits, especially for those people who have need of those benefits. They shall continue to receive them. I'm not going to take money out of Social Security to balance the budget. He said, I am going to change some of the rules from the food stamp program and the Medicaid program because I want to see Americans go back to work. I agree with this. So what we got to do is make sure that one of the things that Winston doesn't have is a labor ready. Now, we have a Kelly, but Kelly services, but Kelly is not quite the same thing as labor ready. Labor ready is a day labor place. So in labor ready, you can go in to labor ready. You go there every day, you do a job, you get paid the same day you work. Convenient. And then, of course, you go home, and you can, when you're doing day's wages, you can go ahead and buy some groceries and things like that. That's the way it used to be paid. Employers used to pay you by the day, not by the hour, obviously, unless you did only an hour's work, but by the day. Okay? And then it got to week. Now it's gone bi-weekly. Now some employers are only paying you monthly. And that's resulting in people making bad decisions. But not even if you get paid daily, you can still make bad decisions. But that's not the point of what I'm trying to get at is. What I'm trying to get a point at, here's my main point, is if we have jobs for people to do, they won't have a reason to live on welfare. They could go back to work, find a job that their skill set. Now, of course, if you're like me, you got physical handicaps, and you want to work, but you have no work history of any significance, the average person is not going to hire you, because guess what? You have nothing in your resume that shows me that you're good at what you say you are. So, how am I supposed to know you're telling the truth? Well, gee, if I'm working with labor ready, and say, for example, when I'm working, say, to get skills in the technical field, and the person in the day labor recruiter sees that and says, hey, yeah, Michelle knows what she's doing. She's smart. She's got good skills. I got her, I got references right here. Boom, 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 boom. Or the likely that person will say, I'll give you a try. I mean, after all, I see you work for, say, the Registered Citizen and the Daily Campus, and you kind of student television in the past, and you got skills in those areas. Fine, come on in. I'll give you a try for a week. That's what it takes sometimes to get a person started. That's what day labor places like Labor Ready work out great. But Winston, Torrington don't have one. So how in the hell is a person who has no work history going to go ahead and prove that they can do the job? Now, this is why we need a day labor place, so that we can let people who have no work history develop by work history, and so they can go back to work. That's the key piece. Now, this is running a lot longer than I intended, but that's okay, I guess. So here's a question. Like I said, we are going to be doing more videos in a couple days. Got to get some bills paid this month, and I'm going to try to get everything straightened out. I got the renter's rebate for next week. I get my hair done next week. And my cat gets if any sutures left, removed next week. I say, because I looked at it and looked like all the sutures are gone, but it doesn't mean he ain't gonna still be checked out, because I still think he should be checked out anyway, to make sure that the vet thinks he's okay. And of course, Fame's gonna get his shots too, so there's other reasons combined appointment. Alright, so for now, I guess that's it. So I'll see you all soon. Bye bye for now. Bye guys.